It's like it always takes longer than you expect it to. And I think that the big challenge for entrepreneurs is they kind of have these like amazing expectations that this idea is going to manifest itself like poof, like it's going to all of a sudden you're going to be on the cover of Forbes. And the reality is that it's going to take a lot longer than you ever expected it to. Like there's a lot of people that like get into this entrepreneur game and they think it's going to happen like that. They don't realize that like there's a difference between persistence and perseverance, right? Persistence is hammering away, hammering away, hammering away, and perseverance is having the will and the tenacity to go the long haul. And I think a lot of times what people think is like, oh, it's going to be an easy road. Like the vision that I've set for myself, there's not going to be any sort of disappointment along the road. And you know, when you create that kind of expectation for yourself, what ends up happening is when that doesn't occur, you get completely derailed. And so it's a lot better to have lower expectations of what's going to happen so that when you exceed those things or when these doors shut on you, you don't get, you know, completely, you know, go off the deep end or you don't move into this straight depression. It's always going to take a lot longer than you think. And there's a combination of patience and persistence and perseverance that ultimately is going to lead to the long-term success. But you know, this up and down, this emotional roller coaster that we have, a lot of times it causes you to have, you know, external, you know, manifestations of your emotions. And I think there's this really important thing is to have some level of consistency so that the people that have joined you in your endeavor don't allow your emotions to bleed out to them. And you know, this is really tough when you're you know, kind of running the show by yourself. You need to have a confidant. You need to have somebody when, you know, that's like kind of the yang to your yin. You know, when you're feeling up and you're feeling like $1 million, you're able to pull them up. And you know, when you're feeling down, they're able to kind of remind you that it's the long game, right? That it's perseverance that's going to get you there. And you know, when you know, a lot of entrepreneurs, what ends up happening is when they see frustration, they wear those emotions on their sleeve, and it starts to bleed into their organization. And all of a sudden, what that does is it cracks the confidence level, and it really, you know, creates this you know, this internal conflict of the people that have joined you. Right now, all of a sudden, they're starting to hedge against you as a leader, and you just gotta kind of stay, you know, you gotta stay, you know, kind of in the middle somewhere. And it's hard, right? Because we want to feel the highest highs, we want to feel the lowest lows, and we feel justified in feeling that way. But you know, if you set the expectations just a little bit lower, right? You expect challenge, you expect frustration, you expect disappointment, you expect it to take longer than you know, initially would like or anticipate. Then ultimately, what ends up happening is those emotions that, you know, don't come out, don't bleed everywhere on other people. And so, you know, try and stay somewhere in the middle publicly, right? And when you can't hold it together, either go in your office and lock the door or take the day off, right? And just go and do a reset and, you know, do some yoga or something. But ultimately, you know, your people need to see consistency, right? They need to see you understanding it's going to be the long game. They need to see your patience. They need to see your perseverance. And they all, you know, that way what they're going to do is they're going to stay persistent. They're going to hammer away, chip away, you know, with that jackhammer. And it's jolting, right? It's like the jackhammer. And I think one of the most frustrating things for entrepreneurs is when no one else will grab the jackhammer. Right, when no one else will step up, and you feel like, you know, you're the only one that's putting forth that level of effort or that level of commitment or that level of investment. And you know, the fact is that you can't expect other people to do, you know, to pay the price you're willing to pay. Like that's why they work for you, right? Ultimately, you're the one who's going to suffer the most, and you're the one who's going to get rewarded the most, right? Because you're the one who's got to persevere and stay positive and stay persistent throughout the entire tenure. Right? Stay at the long game. Understand where you're going. You'll get there.